this shell-shocking edition of Game, Frags heads into the heart of sand-stricken Dubai. We get closer to the soldiers behind Ghost Recon. And it's gonna get gruesome in our look at guns and gore. Prepare to be amazed, it's Game. Hello and welcome all ye fellow nerds and geeks alike to the best video game worshipping show in the universe. Well, we like to think so anyway. A whole week has passed since we last met, and boy have things been shaken up in the realm of noughts and ones. So let's take a quick look at what's been happening in the headlines. Fans of the darkness may just have a reason to come out and play. Digital Extremes, the people behind one of this year's more interesting shooters, have just announced a new project in the works. And this time they're going free to play. Yep, the team behind The Darkness 2 is hard at work on a new shooter. And from the looks of the early promo footage, space seems to be the final frontier. Titled Warframe, the story tells of an enslaved race fighting back against their oppressors with the help of ancient exoskeletons called Warframes. Now, the other cool bit of info that we've got is that it's set to be a co-op centric experience, making me wonder if the end product will end up looking a sort of like Left 4 Dead in space. With characters which look a little like a cross between a Japanese cartoon ninja and a toaster oven, if you're looking for an all-new take on your shooty bang bang, sign-ups for the beta are open right now at www.playwarframe.com. Over in the land of handhelds, in a move which surprised everybody, Nintendo are set to release an all-new redesign of their fledgling handheld, the 3DS, but with none of the enhancements that gamers were actually asking for. 3DS XL will feature a screen which is a whopping 90% bigger than the current model, and will also come with a longer-lasting battery. Not exactly what we were screaming for, though. Gamers have been asking for a redesign to incorporate new features like the addition of a second thumbstick to better control 3D games. But looks like they're out of luck for now. And finally, if you're a die-hard fan of Sony's Resistance series, well, it sucks to be you. The Japanese giant has just come out saying that due to slow sales in recent years, the company has no plans to add a new title to the franchise, marking the end of a line for a series which marked the PlayStation's first real foray into the exciting world of first-person shooters. One of the early titles which launched with the PS3, the Resistance series was supposed to go head-to-head with Microsoft's Halo on the Xbox 360, but never really gathered enough steam to push the Master Chief from his top spot. Now that you're all up to speed, let's kick things off with a stopover at our game den with resident game guru and general nice guy come badass. It's the Frags. He took off for the dusty deserts of Dubai to help capture the Rogue 33rd. I wonder how he got on. Let's find out in this week's review.
Hey ho, my gaming compadres! Fraggy here on a bit of a break from the den as I sink my teeth into the latest bit of shooty fun to come out for the Joypad generation. This week, it's sand on the menu. Lots of sand as we visit the city of Dubai, the playground for the rich and famous in Spec Ops: The Line. Now, if this vision of Dubai looks a little different from how you remember, it's because the city's been suffering from a recent wake of freak sandstorms, leaving the once bustling metropolis looking a bit like my cat's litter box. Now, unlike many of today's military-based shooters like your Call of Duties or your Battlefields, the focus of Spec Ops: The Line is providing a rich story to go along with all that combat. Billed as a modern-day retelling of Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, The Line is a clear homage to movies like Apocalypse Now. You know, films which all look to explore the darker side of people who are pushed to their limits. Now, as the story goes, you play Captain Martin Walker, on a mission to rescue your old commander, who seems to have gone missing under all that sand. But as you dig deeper, you begin to find out that not all is as it seems in the desert, as morality takes a back seat and desperation sets in. Whoa, feeling thirsty already, but does it work as a game? Well, my friends, get ready to get granular as we go deep with Spec Ops: The Line.
Enemy inside! Take him out!
Okay, so like I said before, the main thing which sets The Line apart from your usual trope of war games is the story, which definitely goes for the gut. Now, I really don't want to give anything away because seriously, it's the best part about this game. But let's just say that I'm glad to report that the story has absolutely nothing to do with Americans shooting terrorists in the Middle East. And even though I thought the tone of the game, especially towards the end, got a little bit too serious for my taste.
Begin.
The story in The Line is still one of the most memorable ones that I've played through in recent years. Now, a lot of this has to do with choice. You see, in The Line, much of the time it's not just about getting from point A to point B, but just what you or your character had to do to get him there.
Got another one!
Now, these range from situations in which you're faced with some rather heavy decisions, dealing with the lives of the people you're supposed to be saving, down to bits of the game in which you'll have to wrestle with your own ideas about what it means to look at someone down the barrel of a gun.
You brought this on yourself!
Grenade out! Got one!
Now, when it comes to gameplay, Spec Ops: The Line plays a lot like Gears of War with a few welcome additions.
On the roof! We've got tangles up above!
Firstly, the cover system works really well, considering Epic didn't have a part to play, letting you slip in and out pretty effortlessly, flip turrets on the battlefield, and even take out your enemies from a protected location.
Focus your fire on the guy with the shotgun!
You've also got basic squad commands which let you dictate the flow of each battle. Need reinforcements? Well, no problem. Help is just a button press away.
Throw it, Fred!
Target down! Who's next?
All features we've seen before, no doubt, but what's new here is how the game makes use of the environment to literally change the battlefield in real time.
Grenade out!
Lava grenade and dust clouds will blind enemies, making them an easy shot. But even beyond that, because of the constantly shifting sands, even the ground's not safe. And it's this constant battle against not only the enemy, but the terrain as well, which really sets the line apart.
Watch it! They're slipping through!
Now, on the flip side, while I did like the art and level design, which showed a nice knack for details, can't quite say the same when it comes to the textures, which, depending on where you look, can range from nice to pretty bad. The game also suffers from texture pop-in, like many of the titles using the Unreal Engine 3, as textures slowly fade in while the game loads. And finally, even though most of you won't actually get this point until you sit down and play The Line, but for a game built around choice and morality, on certain occasions, killing is the only way to progress, even if you're looking for a non-violent solution. Something which definitely weakens the emotional connection you have with your hero.
You brought this on yourself.
Even though Spec Ops: The Line may not make you change your long-held beliefs about the human capacity for violence, it sure is a thought-provoking game and one I think all gamers looking for a good story should check out. Now, I got into this one thinking it was going to be yet another run-of-the-mill shooting game, but you know what? The story really caught me off guard, often taking me to emotional places that are not often explored in the realm of video games.
Yeah, I think that's the least we can do. Come on.
It's not Half-Life 2, but in this day and age when character development and story are often the last things that people pay attention to, Spec Ops: The Line definitely gets my recommendation. And from the dunes of Dubai, time now for us to take a little break, but stick around, cause in just 2 short minutes, Like sands through the hourglass, it's our selection of the week's best downloads. And we get an inside look at the craft behind the moving pixel. Get real, only on Game.
Welcome back to Game. Now, is your console just sitting in a sad, lonely corner looking all depressed and lonely? Well, it's time for a revamp with a deluge of downloadable content. And we started off with a game that's across so many platforms, yet so fun to play. Prove your worth and make them suffer, lest they call you a puny god. It's Digital Heaven. This week on Digital Heaven, grab your credit cards because we're stopping up on points as we round up some of the best titles for download, kicking things off with Babel Rising. A tower defense game initially released for mobile devices, this title took the App Store by storm, raking in over 1 million downloads in a single month. Now in this biblical tale of building, you play none other than God Almighty, jersey number 23 in ye old school of smiting. And it seems our creator wants to know just what's all this about the humans building their fancy but obviously unauthorized tower. So, it's a little gust here and some fire there to keep your children in check, because nothing says I love you like a little brimstone in the morning. Now controls are super easy, and most of the strategy comes from learning just when to use the powers. Roll with Divinity, Babel Rising is available on PC, Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network right now. Next up, one for all the couch conjurers among us, uniting geeks the world over without all that awkward socializing. It's the return of Magic: The Gathering, this time with the Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. The latest installment in the series will feature 10 new decks of cards to do battle with. Also new is the ability to manually tap your mana. Sounds sexy. With a multiplayer mode which features a full puzzle campaign with brand new challenges, Magic: The Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013 is out now on the PC, Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. And finally, looking to relive your childhood? Well, time for a little schooling in video games past with the return of an 80s classic. Taking side-scrolling beat-em-ups back to the future, this is Golden Axe. A fantastic collection of 3 of the best retro brawlers of yesteryear. Grab your swords, because all 3 classics are now available in one downloadable package. Featuring updates like the ability to earn achievements, game trials, as well as online leaderboards. The biggest new feature that's got us pumped is the inclusion of online multiplayer. take on the evil of Death Adder with someone from across the world and relive the days of the Mega Drive one more time. Out right now on the Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. Your axes will be of no use here. Ghost Recon Future Soldier is stepping up their game and bringing the latest installment in the franchise to a whole new level of realism. It's almost kind of scary, but let's take a closer look inside.
Hunter, Overlord, we've got Paez on comms.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicolas Rivière. I'm lead animator on Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Ghost Recon Future Soldier is taking place in the Tom Clancy universe, which is all about realism, immersion, and fast-paced action. For most of our cinematics, we worked with former Navy SEALs. Traditional actors who need to be trained on how to hold a weapon or perform complex military maneuvers. These guys knew exactly how to behave instinctively.
Clear.
We were lucky enough to work with them. They brought us their knowledge of the battlefield and their military experience. They help us to improve the realism of the animation. And I think you will really feel it while playing the game.
What's the situation?
Messy. House is ransacked.
Even when filming them wearing the mocap suit, you could feel that it was real,
Keep our eyes open and get ready to do some hunting.
that they had experienced it before, that they were trained to do this. Before shooting each scene, the cinematic team and the special forces consulted each other in order to define precisely the role and action of each soldier in the scene.
That's a negative.
It's all about coordination and precision, something both our cinematic director and special forces have in common.
Get careful, man. We might need him.
Overlord, gonna need you to trace the signal.
These guys aren't pretending to be someone else. This is who they are and what they do. And this is what we wanted in our game.
Roger that, Hunter. I've got a feeling we're just...
Tom Clancy, great author. You should read his book sometime. Or you could just play the video game. Anyway, many moons ago, Ubisoft bought the rights to his name for the franchise that we all know and love. So make sure you head to the shops and grab the latest Future Soldier. Okay, break time. We'll be back in a tick. When we return, we grab your attention with a little guns and gore. And we go out with a big bang, previewing games to come. That's all coming up next on Game. Glad you could stay with me. We're winding this down, but not without a fight. Or at least some big guns, explosions, and really high-tech weaponry. The big boys are out to play, and to start us off on the right foot, we go downtown, where everything is connected. It's a volatile world. It's the Big Bang.
In our explosive expose of the best titles currently building up pressure in the gaming pipeline, we begin with what looks to be a blockbuster of epic proportions. A title which was on everyone's lips at the recent E3 video games convention. Feast your eyes on Ubisoft's Watch Dogs. Coming to us from the same people behind games like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, you play Aiden Pierce, a highly skilled hacker giving new meaning to the term information warfare.
On every exit covered, this guy doesn't leave.
Set in an alternate reality, which offers a frightening mirror into how technology will be used in the future, this title looks to combine some pretty new gameplay in a realistic and living open world. Now, so far, what we've seen looks amazing, but the big question on everyone's mind, is this current generation technology we're seeing, or will Watch Dogs be a launch release for the as yet unannounced next generation of consoles?
Deliver a message for me.
No way!
Set for release sometime in 2013, we can't let these dogs out fast enough. Next on the Bang, we revisit the bulky macho deathmatch party that is Gears of War with their latest title, Judgment. A prequel to the Gears trilogy, the story in Judgment looks to focus on Bayard and his best buddy, the Coltrane, as they and 3 all-new characters are put on trial, accused of treason.
Does that sound about right to you, Lieutenant Baird?
Serious stuff, but considering the franchise has kind of plateaued over the last few years, it'll be interesting to see what changes are made to the series to keep the fans coming back. With an all-new developer at the helm, we'll reserve our judgment when this title hits sometime next year. And finally, to close out our look at the best titles soon spinning in a console near you, it's the return of everyone's favorite sleuthy super spy. It's the Green Triforce in the dark, Sam Fisher and Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell: Blacklist. The latest title in the series of stealth-based action games, Blacklist looks to bring back well-loved features like the ever-popular Mark and Execute, as well as a host of improvements aimed at making combat a little more pacey. Also, look out for Kinect integration, which could be interesting if they could just figure out the whole grab the guy and slit his throat move. Set for release in June next year, get ready for some thrilling duck and cover. Rogue Nations, beware! The Blacklist is set to hit in June next year.
That Tom Clancy gets around a bit, doesn't he? Well, keeping in line with all the bloodlust and battles, we turn now to a game that does more smashing, slashing, and gashing than Bam Bam in the Flintstones. It's time to get gruesome with guns and gore.
It's been 2 long years, but the ghost of Sparta finally makes his return. This is God of War Ascension. From an unknown warrior to a god, a transformation detailed in the latest chapter in the series. Ascension gives us a preview of just what happened to our tortured hero. Tricked into murdering his wife and son and afflicted by terrible nightmares, if you ever wanted to learn about the man behind the scar, look no further. Built using an upgraded version of the God of War 3 engine, Ascension takes the whole experience up a notch with full stereoscopic 3D. But aside from all the technical bells and whistles, What other changes can we expect?
First thing we did was we examined the entire design, from everything the player does in terms of how he navigates through the world, the stuff he interacts with, the enemies he fights, his abilities that he has. And we went through step by step and we examined everything. What were some of the things that we wanted to really modernize, what we wanted to make cooler? And there were some things that just kind of stuck out, like, you know what, this is kind of old. We really need to look at this and make it a little bit more modern.
Now, if you liked the combat in God of War 3, and let's face it, who didn't, you're in for a real treat, because not only has combat been given a once-over, weapons will also take on a new and even deadlier role. Fancy a little payback? Well, use your enemy's weapons against them. With a selection of new moves, all designed with fluid combat in mind, swing foes through the air, tearing them apart at the same time. But aside from the improvements on the single-player side, Ascension will also mark the first time multiplayer will be included in a God of War game, something I'm sure you guys are all extremely excited about.
We've done Titans, we've done Pegasus, we've done, basically anything and everything in Greek mythology. And for us this time, it's how do we put ourselves into Champion of the Gods? For us, we're making sure that we're changing a lot of underlying factors to make sure that the game feels fresh and new.
With support for up to 8 players, all hacking away at each other, teams must fight for control of the map in order to earn rewards and favor from the gods. If you've played any of the God of War games before, you'll know that battles are epic, to say the least. So it's going to be interesting to see how that translates into the multiplayer. Definitely a lot to look forward to. So mark your calendars with less than a year to go before March 2013. The developers are hard at work making sure Ascension is the best game it can be.
And if you've been watching over the past few weeks, we've been running a competition based on the showdown that Frags had with Kratos at E3. And I think it's clear who won. That's right, you guys! One of you lucky viewers is walking away with our awesome E3 skateboard and a 1-year subscription to PlayStation Plus. So make sure you get your comments and the photo on facebook.com/ESSGame and get all your friends to vote. And with that, it's a wrap. We will see you next week for more gaming goodness. See you later.